Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Infinite Wish, and we're going to get into Venus in the 8th house, part 3, Synastry. Let's go. So again, I hope you guys watched part 1 and part 2. Hopefully that resonated with some people. I do appreciate all the comments and the likes that I got on part 1. So yeah, let me know if you guys experienced this or any other things you want me to talk about in case I did miss anything, and I will be happy to do so. So now part 3. So in part 1, we talked about when they first meet and that attraction and everything like that. And then in part 2, we talked about what almost the planet person expects of the house person. So in part 3 in this video, I just want to talk about the house person for a minute, right? Because the planet is going into their house, and as someone who looks at synastry and have seen my own synastry with somebody before, the house person is always going to feel it. I feel like the planet person won't feel it until after the fact, if that makes sense. So the best way, because I see this too, and I was somebody too who kind of didn't understand like who feels it more, planet or house. So the house person's going to feel it, and the planet person will be affected, but it's going to be like a memory after the fact. It's like almost like, I want to say, like a delayed response type of thing. I mean, just think about you when you enter a new environment and everything like that. It's, you don't really process it until after the fact, until you got to sit with your emotions. So that's kind of what I want to say about that. So because the planet person almost expects to receive something from the 8th house person. Now remember, the 8th house has to do with other people's money, sex, taboo, deep transformation. Just like the 12th house, it's just a very, I would never, 8th house and 12th house synastry, I don't know about that. But so yeah, let's talk about the house person. So firstly, the house person. I would like to say that the 8th house person almost looks at the Venus person as, like the planet person, as somebody that they not used to be, but it's like when they look at the planet person, it's just like they kind of look at them like, I recognize you, like I see you, and I see there's something in me and you that I really recognize. So I want you guys to understand, when it comes to 8th house synastry, especially Venus, that's how the 8th house person feels. It's like you're almost just like, you're looking at, I don't want to say like a past version of you, but it's just like you see something and you feel something. You're just, that's how that's how the house person can feel. So after the fact, when the planet person asks the house person for whatever favor, whatever they need the house person to, indirectly help them out with something. And, the planet person always promises like, don't worry, I got you type of thing. Like, you got me, I got you. So sometimes that's how that synastry can kind of play out. If you guys ever had 8th house synastry, let me know. Have you ever experienced something like that? So the 8th house person kind of wants to brush it off because they really do like the Venus person. There's something about the Venus person that they are scared of, but they also really like at the same time. So they I want to say like almost the house person wants to keep the peace. Basically, that's the best way I can describe it for this part 3. The house person just really wants to keep the peace. Like the house person just really wants to have a good relationship, and it's like, can we just go back to, when we were vibing and stuff? Like, why is everything all so serious all of a sudden, planet person? I know you're in my 8th house, but what's going on here? So next, because I want to say the planet person, it's like they go back and forth with it's almost like a push and pull. That's how the house person and the planet person can behave. Like, you're chasing me, now I'm pulling away. Now I'm chasing you, you're pulling away. So that's almost how the dynamic can be. So okay, so let's back it up here. So remember what I said? The planet person shuts down. So after the planet person shuts down, the house person starts. Now this is when, like, this is why people always think like the eighth house is a twin flame dynamic with the runner and chaser, masculine, feminine. So this is what can happen. So the planet person withdraws themselves, their emotions. Like you just see you're just like, whoa. And you want to know too, right? What house it falls in. Is it Aquarius? Is it Gemini? Is it? So also too, you want to look at all that stuff too, right? But either way, I feel like the house person just sees a whole different person now when they look at the planet person. So the house person is going to start acting a little bit strange. Now, all of a sudden, the eighth house person wants to get their attention back. Like, they're like, oh my God, did I mess up? Like, I feel so like that. The eighth house person just starts acting kind of strange. Like, what do I do? Like, oh my God, okay. And because it's the eighth house of transformation, I want to say almost the eighth house person just kind of reverts back into their old ways because they see the planet person as not somebody as who they were, but it reminds them of an old aspect of themselves. So the house person almost wants to connect to that aspect again, and in order, like, in the hopes of connecting with the planet person. So this is why a lot of deep transformation can happen again, because the house person thought that they moved past that. They meet the planet person and they almost want to revert back and, to whatever old habits, old style, old this, so it's weird. It's like the house person's like taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's like, it's so strange. And the house person is trying to get the planet person's attention. Is the planet person intrigued? Sure, right? Like, these things don't go away. So yeah, the house person's acting out in sorts, like low key, but also hiding how they feel. But like, I want to say that's how the house person starts to act. And then there comes the switch again. So the house person's like, okay, I don't think that's working. Let me just, and then now the planet person starts to chase the house person. And, it's like almost like they get turned on and turned off by each other's behaviors and attitudes. And it's like a switch. So the house person will be turned on by the planet person or completely turned off. And it's like, it goes back and forth between that. Are they ever on the same page? No, I don't think so. I think they would like to be. So maybe they, if I feel like the only way they would be on the same page is if the house person gave in. But if the house person refuses to give in, then I believe it won't be as easy for them to be on the same page. So I want to say, like, this dynamic can play out because there's always one person in the dynamic that doesn't want to give in. This is about power and control. This is a Scorpio house, you guys. I think I said this in part 1. It's about power and control. Like, this is the 8th house. Like, other people's money, like sex, and those are very powerful, powerful things, right? So one person has to give in. One person has to give in to emotions and submit, and both of them maybe don't want to do that. And one person has to do that in order for this synastry to work. So yeah, I would say the planet person will try again, but when the planet person tries, it's like the house person is completely turned off by some action and behavior the planet person has done. But they're not going to vocalize that. It's just like they're kind of just looking at them like, yuck, This can be such a heartbreak synastry, you guys. After this, I will be doing Venus in the 12th house synastry. And it's so funny because we are going to connect 8th house synastry to 12th house synastry. So this is part 3. Let's speed it up in part 4, and I'm going to talk about how this plays out towards the end.